Everyone is embedded with a storyline as a child. Like that we have dreams and the ability to imagine and believe as children that just gets destroyed or marred, and we don't trust it anymore, so we shove it back there. I had these recollections of being a little boy and having this sense that my life was supposed to mean something, and not in some megalomaniac way, but just that I was created for a purpose and my life was supposed to mean something, and it was good, whatever that was. And I knew when I was in the midst of that spiral downward that thing was out of reach, or that thing was gone somehow. I always loved adrenaline rushes and maybe an exploratory spirit, so I just got into stuff, and started doing drugs when I was middle school, high school, with the kind of stupidity of youthfulness, having no recognition of what we were tampering with. And I remember, I was intuitive enough as an 18-year-old, man, I'm becoming sort of this character that lives this kind of secretive life because I'm trying to hide things. Why am I trying to hide things, That scared me because there's that part in your mind that's sort of back there somewhere. It's what are you doing? Why are you saying that right now? Why are you here? Wait a minute, this isn't, as a child, what you dreamed life would become. And I was still a pretty young man and already feeling like I'm slipping down this slope that I'm having trouble clawing my way out of, and increasingly losing control as the inertia seemed to be going faster and faster as I'm spiraling down this thing, And that's really when I was gripped with oh my God, I remember there was a point when I was really little when I knew that I had destiny and I was excited about it. Almost like I was given this gift of a life that I was supposed to do something with. And already at a young age, I've made these decisions and I'm falling. I feel like I forfeited something. And so that actually the sort of transition experience in my life wasn't this shocking moment of just realization. The answer kept coming. You know what you have to do. You know what the answer is. And I didn't like it, is the thing. And so I put it off. And that's when the contrast got heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. There's variances of worldviews on how this spiritual journey works. But for me, there was a threshold. And I knew I needed a savior to pull me from one side into the other. I couldn't will it or do it on my own. And so it came to a very crisis moment, and there was a separation between me and what I knew was supposed to become. And it was tragic. All I can say is it felt tragic because I knew I couldn't have that. But then I was shown the only way back to that, becoming that child again. Having that childlike purity and imagination and ability to believe in good things again.
What we hear being talked about by this artist, Josh Garrels, is the severe consequence of what happens when we walk away from what we know is good and right, to live for this false idea of our own leadership and ownership of our life. But what joy there is to be found when we come back to the truth. He mentioned that he knew what he had to do to get from one side to the other side, from this bad side to this really good, beautiful thing. How do we get to this really good, beautiful thing that we knew when we were children that seems so far away from us? And to do that, we have to let God, our Savior, pull us over. And, it was said that by Paul that we believe that he died for all, therefore all have died. And so because he died for all of us are enabled now to be dead to our old life, that old self that wandered away from that childhood self, that thing we remember as children, that good thing that seems so far away. We can return to that. We can come back to that. We can be dead to the part of us that wandered away. We can put that behind us and be dead to it because he died for all. And then we can take on this new life, which God graciously gives to all who lay behind their old life, and start following that new thing, which is much like what we had as children. So, in this video, there's some really profound things that were said, and they really related to my life, and I think, you can tell me in the comments, but I think they relate to everyone's life in one way or one shape or another. I think that they really do prove themselves true in everyone's life. So, it's an artist, Josh Garrels. He's a music artist, makes good music. But I would encourage you to listen carefully to what he's saying, and that you might even fast forward back and listen over what he says a couple times, and just let it sink in.